liberal men run their mouths? Sorry, why do liberal boys run their mouths? Like, they act so big, bad, and tough in their lives and in their videos. It's just hilarious to me. But I want to say this. I'm a big enough creator now to where I know you guys are going to see these kinds of videos. There's not one specific liberal creator that I wouldn't spar with. Let me know that you're willing to do it. And if you're not, your audience should be absolutely ashamed of you, and they should make fun of you every time you start to run your mouth in your lives, in your videos, whatever. Just say, nah, you didn't want that puff puff with Ray Ray, so don't run your mouth now. Give me a follow. We'll see you in the next one. Bow, 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 bow.
Remember that guy?
Sparring. Put your life on it. Put your life on the line. That's where I'm at. We ain't doing no sparring, no celebrity boxing, TikToker versus TikToker. I'm a liberal content creator. Put your life on the line and let's go head up. You make it back to your family and you can tell the story on social media, or I make it back to my family and I'll tell the story on social media. That's where we're at right now. So you bull playboy, you're not serious. I'm in Conroe, Texas. Get into my inbox. If not, get your bottom grill fixed. Continue to make your bogus content. Because moving forward, we playing for keeps, playboy.
And the reaction from well-known creators like Big Matt to this man Scotty K Fitness. MAGA's Ray Ray had his fight challenge accepted by many on the left. Like clockwork, Scotty would be blocked by Ray Ray.
Liberal creator that I wouldn't spar with.
Bernard Taylor, who's running for Congress, would stitch Ray Ray's video and showcase footage of him competing in MMA matches and crushing dudes. Ray Ray, of course, would not respond to Taylor.
I mean, I got some time today. Come on through. Hold on. Peep the aim first.
This dude, Thorin Bradley, would also be mentioned. And Ray Ray said, no, I'm not going to fight anybody who's 6'9", 290 pounds challenging me. He would say, don't you know anybody can get at means within my weight division, which is wrong, childish, and a great example of moving the goalposts. So here we are, present day, and Ray Ray is still running for his life in those comments, and let me show you why. He is turning them off altogether. Take a look. The man who claims to be almighty has limited his comments to mutuals only. The jokes certainly do write themselves at this point. So when he tried backpedaling...
If I've ever needed my MAGA family, it's right about now. Basically what's happened on this page is
around and found out. And don't get the wrong idea. This dude isn't a snowflake. He's not a beta. He's definitely not all up in his feelings. Are we clear?
He got called out again.
MAGA family, it's right about now. Basically what's happened on this page is I have an infestation of cockroaches from...
No, that's not what happened. You called out a bunch of liberals because you're tough, and then you got scared and ran like a little Ray Ray and blocked people.
Which is true. And let me tell folks, not only kept tabs, but posted the receipts. Lewis Morgan, seen here, told his followers how he made a video and tagged Ray Ray in the process. Morgan told the MAGA creator he is a band director for decades, but he would accept the challenge. Ray Ray blocked him, as Morgan would state, in record time.
If I've ever needed my MAGA family, it's right about now.
If there's a bigger than Ray Ray on TikTok, I haven't seen them. Calls out every liberal influencer. And then when he's challenged, runs to his family like a little baby. Help me, MAGA, help me. They're being so mean to me now. There is no bigger on TikTok than Ray Ray. If you find a bigger on TikTok than Ray Ray, please identify them and send them my way. But barring that, it is proven that Ray Ray is the biggest on TikTok.
If I've ever needed my MAGA family, it's right about now. Basically what's happened on this page is I have an infestation of...
Ray Ray, look at you. I thought you wanted to fight people, but now you're like, I need my MAGA family. I got roaches in my yard. Homie ran his mouth and now he won't even acknowledge it after he got called out by so many liberals. This, my friends, is what we call deflecting and being. You said you would fight anybody who challenged you. And then when people started coming forth that were like twice your size, you're like, oh, wait, well, we got weight classes and we got to do... No, back up your words. Come on, man. You're a big MAGA man, aren't you? You guys boast about how strong you are and how big you are. Back up your mouth. Back up your mouth, baby boy. You ran with your tail between your legs. You scared.
I was a little late to the party because actually Ray blocked me on TikTok before I even knew anything about this guy. I just wanted to add something here. Maybe the reason that political punches didn't work out, where you wanted to have a bunch of people go around the country and still do, Republicans fighting Democrats, red versus blue. Like, A, because what grown adult would do that? Like, I see a car seat in the back of your car. You have a kid, bro. You're a grown man. But also, like, politics is people's lives. You understand that, right? Like, politics is like whether people will eat or will not eat. And, like, obviously people that look like you and I don't have to think about that much. But, like, you should try to think about it more. Because, like, this is not a game, bro. People lose their lives, lose their country over this. And you're a grown man trying to fight people, all right? Most of us are just, like, focused on the matter, so. What a weirdo.
One TikToker shared some wise words for Ray Ray.
This whole thing would have gone so much smoother for him and caused so much less backlash if he had just stood up and taken his licks. Like, you know what I mean? If he had just stood up and owned that challenge, even if he got his ass kicked, which he would have, I don't think it would have gone for him as bad as it has. Because I think at this point, we all saw the video of him reaching out to MAGA and being like, help me, help me. And I think at this point, he has been, effectively pushed off this platform, him and his gigantic hat. And I just think that if he had gotten in the ring with anybody, literally anybody, he would have, I just think things would have gone better for him. I think people wouldn't have respected him more by any means, but at least I wouldn't have respected him less.
But let's never forget this.
I have never been racist. I am not racist. I will never be racist. I have friends.
I can't be racist. I've got black friends. Not only does this not prove that you're not racist, it is in itself a little racist. You're going to hate that, but here's why. Claiming friendship with a certain group of people, in this instance black people, is tokenizing them. You are reducing your friends to props in order to deflect accountability. It is minimizing your friendship and reducing it so that they serve a purpose rather than just being actual friends with them. Racism is a system of oppression. It disadvantages black people and people of color, and you saying that you're friends with them does nothing to dismantle or address the systemic nature of racism. Your proximity to black people does not mean that you've lifted a single finger in an effort to unpack your unconscious prejudice or implicit bias, which often leads to disgusting behavior like microaggressions and discriminatory behavior, which means that your black friends are subject to your little bacon bits of racism you don't even know that you're doing, which means that your friends are not free from racism even when they're with you, their friend. This is going to be a long series, turns out.
And this.
I've never tried to get eaten alive as hard as this, because I think this is important. You earlier, when you were going to bring me up an hour and a half ago, you asked me if I was going to do it out of love and like have a nice cordial conversation. And the answer is yes, but not for this. It's for the love of like other communities who are deeply affected by like this. If you can give me the big box, I don't know if you know how to do that.
I don't know.
No, okay. I'm just gonna show you this. I'm gonna play it because I think it's important, and it's important. I think also because maybe you don't know this sort of like. To Snow's point, you might think that you're like playing with kid gloves, but coddling this is really bad.
Talking about 100 men versus one gorilla. Who would win? I'm a gorilla. I'm gonna put it to you like this. Not only would I unalive all 100 men men that come my way, I will attend their funerals and take their woman from them afterwards. You ain't never heard that once you go silverback, you never go back? Well, hell, I might want to think about this. I might do even worse. I'll keep you alive, but I'll rip your bananas off, okay, like Lorena Bobbitt. And then I will take your woman. What do you call a picture of me with my arm around your girl smiling like this? That's called Gorilla Cheese. One of y'all gonna have a wife named Manila. I'm gonna take her. We gonna call that Gorilla in Manila. Y'all act like my cousin Shaq didn't dominate the NBA for decades. Y'all act like my whole...
Cousin Shaq.
No.
My cousin Shaq.
No.
So I just want you to be clear. This is all I came to say. If you want to platform people like this, right? You just got to get it clear. It's fine having these conversations. Certain people don't deserve the kindness that you are showing.
And
this
that's
person.
you.
That's all I'm saying. I think that everybody who hadn't seen that video might have a different opinion. Okay,
if
Ray.
I was worried about
And I swear to God, Ray. And the next time I see you, I will feed you your teeth. All right, brother? That's all I came here to say. That's all I came here to say, okay? Great.
Like you guys should talk about it.
If you want to continue to platform this bigot, that's on you. You just know that now you can't just play dumb and say, "Oh, but we're just trying to reach the other side." This is who you're trying to reach right now. Okay?
This is disgusting. You people have the power to do something. Ohio State is too arrogant. They think it's going to go away. Jim Jordan called me crying. Groveling on the 4th of July, begging me to go against my brother. Begging me. Crying for a half hour. That's the kind of cover-ups that's going on there. Now, you guys can sit and act like it's not going on, but I got a lot of other stuff here. Emails that were taken out of my mailbox. That's a crime.
Adam DiSabato testified in February 2020 on the accusations levied against Jim Jordan.
4 former Ohio State wrestlers tell NBC News they were sexually abused by a team doctor. Molested by Dr. Richard Strauss, who they allege inappropriately touched athletes' genitals during routine exams and regularly showered with them in a university facility.
I mean, it's public knowledge. I mean, everyone knew within the athletic department that Doc was a serial groper at best.
Several accusers believe it was known by Republican Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan at the time, an assistant wrestling coach at the university from 1986 to 1994. Jordan denies knowing anything about the allegations before accusers spoke out this spring.
Which still remain to this day.
Archie Griffin, be happy where you're at. Keep your mouth shut. That was my idol. He was my idol growing up. What do you think I thought? 18 years old. Jim Jordan called me several times after that. That week, I had to have my lawyer call him, tell him to stop calling me. I had a teammate, George Pardos, I called and told him, call Jim Jordan and tell him to quit calling me or I'm going to beat his ass. That's what I said.
Mr. Chair, may I ask my question?
You may follow up.
Thank you to the witness. What I was trying to say is I appreciate you stepping forward and sharing your story. I know it's not an easy thing to do. And you've mentioned Representative Jordan, and he's publicly stated that, number one, he's been vindicated by the report that was done and that he had no knowledge of any of this activity. How do you reconcile what he's made his statements publicly and what you're saying here today?
He's throwing us under the bus, all of us. He's a coward. He's a coward. He's not a leader. He's a coward. I'm a leader. I was captain of these guys. That's why I'm here. I would never abandon my team. He abandoned us. Our head coach abandoned us. He's flipped his story. He called other people to flip their story. He called Mark Coleman to flip his story. He called his parents, 90 years old. That's the kind of person Jim Jordan is.
Sadly, it's a story of those with knowledge, political power, and evading any sort of accountability. Sadly, it appears a similar tale took place at my alma mater, Indiana University.
I've always voted because I think that voting is a special thing that we have in this country that isn't in a lot of different countries. But I've always voted, for the person that I thought was the best for the job. And there's no question. There's no question in my mind that the man sitting between the two of us is far and away the best person to lead America back where we all want to be led. And that's the guy that can do it right here.
It involves famed coach Bobby Knight and the prestigious men's basketball team. This man, Dr. Bradford Bamba, who served as the team's doctor, and former athletic trainer Tim Garl. ESPN reports that more than 15 players right now alleged improper sexual conduct by Bamba, with prominent names like Bob Knight, knowing full well it took place. Bamba passed away last month. In March of 2025, when the number of players was much lower, a fifth player said he did publicly complain to Knight in 1979 about Bamba giving unnecessary, trigger warning, rectal exams to players. The players said in their suit they were routinely and repeatedly subjected to medically unnecessary, invasive, and abusive digital rectal examinations by the late Bamba. These exams are usually done when men, as we know, are over the age of 40. So it's weird that this took place. Attorney Kathleen Delaney would represent the IU players. She told NBC this, that what stood out is two of the three experts that engaged with the firm that IU obtained, Jones Day, stopped short of endorsing Dr. Bamba's digital rectal exams as medically appropriate. Delaney would claim that the investigators did not even interview Bamba. If there was a red flag here, you would be waving it above your head, above my head. The main guy, according to Delaney, you don't interview? If that is true, that is damning. Damning. In December 2024, prior to his death, he would be deposed. And this is important to note. He would invoke his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination countless times. I believe that number was above 40 later on. That is per testimony transcripts. His lawyers tried claiming he was not competent enough to testify. A judge ruled against Bamba's attorneys. Per the suit, Dr. Bamba Sr.'s routine sexual assaults were openly discussed by the Hoosier men's basketball players in the locker room in the presence of IU employees, they would allege, including assistant coaches, athletic trainers, and other Hoosier men's basketball staff. And as you're taking all of this in and reading all of this, if you wish, one detail on top of another that is rather unsettling is that this man, Dr. Bamba, had a nickname, and his nickname was Frankenstein for the freakishly large size of his hand and his fingers. And that takes us now to present day. The release of an outside investigation cleared Bamba of sexual misconduct. And though that happened, guys like Butch Carter, who played at IU, also coached in the NBA, I believe he was with the Raptors, would add his name to those alleging abuse, including him telling Bobby Knight multiple times about this. ESPN reports that last month, an investigation that IU commissioned found that while Bamba did routinely perform those digital rectal exams, those were done in a clinically appropriate manner. Again, this is from the firm that IU hired. And there was no evidence to suggest that Dr. Bamba achieved sexual gratification. There's a gray area here, but moving on. Another attorney representing 10 players would claim she has two clients right now whose stories contradict the finding that Bamba's actions were not sexual. See, this is important. One man who played in the late 90s would say that Bamba, and this is via his words, fondled his privates, I don't want this video to get taken down, during a physical. And another man said he was subjected to a rectal exam at Bamba's own clinic when he was a minor in high school. The school now, of course, is arguing that the statute of limitations expired, and in the state of Indiana, per the four-letter network, the state's 2-year statute of limitations for bringing sexual assault claims in civil litigation is, I believe, 2 years, which is porous of the state of Indiana. I'm not surprised. Let me just try to paint the picture of what it was like going to this school, okay? This was the best school that I got accepted to out of high school. My test scores were not amazing. I could have done way better as a high school student. There's no doubt about it. My parents would probably say the same. But once I got in, I knew that the football team was awful, basketball team, legendary. Going to Assembly Hall, legendary. Being on that campus, legendary. I cannot tell you how many professors spoke of Bob Knight glowingly. And this is 18-year-old Ricky, like coming out of high school. I know a lot about sports, but I was still young, didn't know the full story of who Bobby Knight was. And the way that these professors talked about him was godlike. Godlike. And now as I'm reading this, if these allegations are true, he belongs in the shameful Hall of Fame, along with other coaches. He is in there with others who are complicit, if this is true, in aiding and abetting sexual misconduct on the very players that he, I would guarantee, told parents when he sat in their houses, living rooms, etc., that he would protect them. As an alumnus, I am and I am ashamed of this. You read about all these stories. You know, you read about Penn State, you read about Michigan State, you read about Michigan, and you think, like, God, that's awful, but at least my school, at least I hope, did not have anything similarly. And then the story breaks of the thing that this school is known for, basketball. Branch McCracken, Bobby Knight, Calbert Chaney, Steve Alford, Eric Gordon. The list goes on. And knowing that if this is true, that players complained and they were ignored by the most powerful man in the state. In the state. This is not just anybody's coach. This represented the state of Indiana, Hoosier basketball. The power that this man had. Gross. Awful. Disgusting. I know the stories were bad later on in life. And somehow for Bob Knight, even in death, he sank lower. Brutal. If the allegations are true, I am sorry to the players. And I am sorry that a man who could have stopped it immediately didn't. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.